Hi everyone, due to some circumstances, I'm going to be the voice in today's video. Thanks for your understanding. If you are wondering, what is the largest flying creature ever, then of course dinosaurs come to mind. Take Argentavis for example. It is believed that these long-extinct birds were 2 meters tall and their wingspan reached 7 meters, not to mention giant pterodactyls. But what about modern times? Are there any flying creatures that coexist on Earth with humans? You bet! Today, we will find out more about them. Let's get it on! Andean condor. This South American bird is considered the largest bird on our planet. Forget the eagles and pelicans. The Andean condor is a real champion. Ostriches don't count because they don't belong to flying species. The Andean condor is a large vulture and one of the long-lived birds. According to some reports, condors may live up to 70 years. But let's talk about its size because it is really impressive. The weight of the Andean condor varies from 11 to 15 kilograms depending on the gender, and the wingspan ranges from 270 to 320 centimeters. Moreover, the wings of the Andean condor also have the largest surface area. The total height of the body is approximately 100 to 120 centimeters. So yeah, this is a pretty big bird. Among birds, only some albatrosses and the two largest species of pelicans rival Andean condors in average and maximum wingspan, but in all other respects, this bird is the absolute leader in size. And this is where all the scientists agree. Stellar sea eagle. The largest feathered predator of the Northern Hemisphere, one of the smartest birds on the planet, and simply a delightfully beautiful creature. Meet Stellar sea eagle. Researchers say they remember and recognize all their chicks and carefully plan their hunts in advance. That's hardly surprising because these birds are among the heaviest eagles in the world, with weight ranging from 7 to 9 kilograms. An impressive weight restricts the time of an active flapping flight to half an hour a day, but the eagle can glide for as long as he wishes. So the bird plans its hunts with this in mind. The height of stellar sea eagles ranges from 85 to 105 centimeters depending on gender. The wingspan reaches from 1.95 to 2.5 meters and is considered one of the largest among all eagle species. While this is an official record, some researchers claim that they saw birds with a wingspan of up to 2.8 meters, and it is really a lot. For comparison, the wingspan of the famous bald eagle does not exceed 2.3 or 2.4 meters. Dalmatian pelican. This huge bird is the largest species of pelicans. Also, Dalmatian pelicans are considered to be one of the largest species of flying birds that exist on our planet. Their height ranges from 160 to 183 centimeters. That is, the pelicans are on par with humans in terms of height. The weight, however, is very different, from 7.25 to 15 kilograms. But pelicans can fly, which means they have a hollow skeleton. But the most impressive thing about them is their wingspan. It ranges from 245 to 351 centimeters. That is 3.5 meters from one end of the wing to the other. If we wanted to measure a bus with pelicans, then one bus would fit only 2 individuals with spread wings, and both of them most likely would not be willing to get inside. Only wandering albatrosses can rival Dalmatian pelicans in their wingspan, but we'll speak of these birds later. Dalmatian pelicans live near lakes, rivers, deltas, and estuaries. They are not particularly picky about their habitat, and the only condition is the presence of fish. An adult pelican eats at least 1.2 kilos of food a day. Kori bustard. The Kori bustard is arguably the largest flying bird native to Africa. This species, like most bustards, is a ground-dwelling bird and an omnivore. But this does not mean that it cannot fly. Yes, these gigantic birds, whose weight reaches 18 kilos, spend 70% of the time on the ground. However, Kori bustards are very shy. They often crouch at the first sign of danger, and if this does not help, they fly away. This will naturally require some effort, but life is more important. They usually remain low, and when they're about to land, they keep their wings spread until they slow down. The height of males ranges from 105 to 128 centimeters, and their wingspan varies from 230 to 275 centimeters, which is consistent with their impressive weight. But there are a few species that exceed these parameters. For example, some claim to have seen a bustard which weighed 30 or even almost 40 kilos. It's unclear how exactly they could determine the weight of the birds. Wandering albatross. When speaking of the largest flying creatures on our planet, it is necessary to mention albatrosses. These birds are so interesting that some even call them a phenomenon. After all, it seems almost impossible to fly without flapping wings. However, there is an explanation behind this. A wandering albatross has the largest wingspan among all birds. Usually, it ranges from 2.51 to 3.5 meters. 3.5 meters, it's almost as big as a small car. Some species are reported to have a wingspan of 4.22 and 5.3 meters. Thanks to this impressive size, albatrosses can fly for several hours, barely flapping their wings. They let the wind carry them forward without wasting energy on flapping. This way, albatrosses can cover big distances. The body length of these birds can range from 1 meter to 1 meter 35 centimeters, and the females are only slightly smaller than males. In addition to size, albatrosses have an impressive lifespan. They can live for more than 50 years, maintaining their fertility. Trumpeter swan. These birds look like the common swans, who, perhaps, can be found in the nearest lake. The only differences are the black beak and the size. It is believed that this is the heaviest bird in North America, as well as the largest of the existing waterfowl species. The wingspan of this swan can exceed 3 meters. The body length of an adult trumpeter swan is 138 to 165 centimeters, although large males can grow up to 180 centimeters. This is on par with human size. The wingspan of the trumpeter swans ranges from 185 to 250 centimeters, and in the largest of the registered species, it exceeded 3 meters. Perhaps the people who believe swans are a symbol of grace obviously never saw trumpeters. We already mentioned that trumpeter swans are considered one of the heaviest birds capable of flying, but just listen to these figures. The weight of a trumpeter swan can exceed 12 kilograms. For comparison, the emperor penguin weighs about twice as much, but he is not capable of flying. Saddle-billed stork. Since we are talking about really big birds, we have to mention storks. If you have ever seen them live, you know they are huge, without any exaggeration. And the largest species of the stork's family is the saddle-billed stork. This giant bird reaches 150 centimeters in height, which is like an average human teenager, and has a wingspan of up to 2.7 meters. This is arguably the tallest of the existing stork species. Perhaps it's due to their long legs reaching 36.5 centimeters. This huge bird weighs from 5 to 7.5 kilograms, depending on gender. Yes, not a lot, but do not forget, the saddle-billed stork is not like an ostrich, it can fly. Saddle-billed storks eat fish, frogs, and crabs, as well as many small birds and reptiles. And here's another interesting fact. The saddle-billed stork looks so impressive that it was even rendered as an ancient Egyptian hieroglyph that looks, well, like a stork, a painted one at least. Eurasian eagle owl. The European eagle owl is considered one of the largest species of the owl order for a good reason. Females can grow up to 75 centimeters in length and have a wingspan of about 188 centimeters. That is, a female eagle owl can cover Ryan Reynolds or Tom Hiddleston with its wings and there will still be some space left. Males, of course, are a bit smaller but still quite large. The eagle owl is considered a widespread species. These birds live in coniferous forests, in mountainous regions, in the steppes, generally as far away from humans as possible. Their size allows eagle owls to hunt mammals, birds, amphibians, and even fish, so their diet is quite diverse. Eagle owls are sometimes domesticated, but not in order to deliver mail to wizards. Although, given their size, they could handle bulky packages. But actually, owls are used to fight various pests and scare away gulls so they do not nest in the wrong places. Colugos. Yes, in today's video we talked about birds, but they are not the only ones who know how to fly. Meet colugos, aka flying lemurs. These creatures live in Southeast Asia and spend most of their time in trees. This is because their bodies are simply not adapted for moving on the ground where they can barely crawl. They prefer living on trees. Flying lemurs move up in small leaps, clinging on the bark using their small, sharp claws. They spend most of the day curled up in hollows or quietly hanging from branches, and when night comes, they look for food. But colugos were mentioned on our list not because of this. They can actually fly, not the way birds do. Instead, colugos glide. Traveling from one tree to another, they can cover a distance of about 150 meters in one leap, all thanks to the dense, fur-covered membrane that connects all their limbs, tail, and neck of the animal. The body length of colugos can reach 40 centimeters, which makes them one of the largest gliding mammals.
Oi.
Dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.